welcome. This is Ruth and I'm back with another one of Tonic's 2024 birthday week launches. This one is called Haunted Halloween and there are 50 dies in it. Now it's got all of the dies that you need to make a cauldron, a pumpkin and a hat. So it's kind of a witch's hat. And I'm really looking forward to making the pumpkin. The things are actually made in basically the same way, the pumpkin and the cauldron. And I'm sure if like me you don't celebrate Halloween, you could certainly use these dies to make some of other lovely things as well. But the pumpkin is really, really beautiful here. It's made with this same background shape here, cut 6 times, and then this is the pattern that goes on top. So if you haven't already subscribed and you want to keep up with birthday week, or in fact any crafting stuff at all that I've been making, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That's free, doesn't cost you anything. And hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be kept up to date with everything as it comes along. I'm always very busy, always loving crafting, and there's plenty of stuff coming all the time. And if you don't enjoy it at the end, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and leave me a little comment. My affiliate links for everything I use will be down below in the description as well. But I have picked out some coloured card to go along with this. First of all, I have die cut some stuff for the pumpkin, so I'm going to go and get all the rest of it ready, and I'll be right back. I should say actually that you'll get the full instructions in your packaging as well, and in that it'll give you a cutting list, so it'll tell you exactly how many pieces of everything that you need to cut out to make this project as well. This is actually really, really nice because over the years I have sort of improvised with a lot of my other die sets to make a pumpkin, and it's really, really nice to have just a kind of a, what would you say, a dedicated pumpkin die after all this time. So I've cut out 6 of this shape here with the little tabs on the side, and then I have used this die and this one together to create this beautiful little shape here on top, and I'll just show you it on its own, and I've glued that directly on top. You could, if you wanted, you could cut a layer of this out and then a layer of this and glue the two together and put them on top of the pumpkin side, but I have glued it directly on because I think it's quite nice to see those little lines through that as well. Then when you get them to that stage, you need to just take a little bone folder or something and just give them a little curl just to mold those fibres around. So you'll see that I've got 5 there, and I just wanted to show you this before I go any further. I'm not going to do this on mine, but I just want you to see how to do it as well. I have taken the little dies that cut out the different shaped mouths, so that's this one, and I've got 3 different mouths there that I could use, but you could put this one on. And then I've got this die, and I've cut that out twice, and that gives me the eyes, which you can put on just whatever way you like there. And I think there's a little nose as well. I have that somewhere here, a tiny little triangle anyhow. There it is. And you could go ahead and put that little face on there, and then you could add that into your pumpkin on the way around. I prefer just to keep it the way it is here, so I'm going to glue that directly on top. Now the pattern goes, it's one way or the other, so I've just kept them all the same to be continuous. So say if my tabs were to the left, this swirl is going to be right there beside it. So first of all, I'm going to glue this last little one on with my little precision tip here, and then I'll fold it around, and then I'll come back to show you how to attach that to the base. Now you'll need to cut this out 3 times, and take your first one, and then these little pieces will all get glued on here. So you put glue on there and then attach these, whoops, the whole way around here, each one of them onto the glue tab. Just remember as you go to keep the side glue tabs all facing the one direction so that you'll be able to add them to each other the whole way around there. Don't forget, and maybe turn one up the wrong way around, because you'll have to take it off again and fix it before you can go any further. I don't think I actually said, but this is amber yellow card and this one is pumpkin orange. And the two of them work really, really well together, and I'm going to be adding a bit of glitter card, and I'll get you the name of that as we go along as well. I've just forgotten the name, but that's it there. So the next part to assemble this is to add these glue tabs together. So you can see why the curve was so important, and we're just going to glue them like this. So the easiest way to do this is to add glue right along the little tabs first of all, and then just start at the top one, hold it together, and just, see this Nouveau Deluxe adhesive doesn't really take that long to dry, so it's really easy. You just hold it like this and hold the top one together. Once that glue has grabbed, it's really easy just to go right down the rest of the tabs, but simpler if you just hold that one first. There you are, just like that. And then you can work your way the whole way around the little pumpkin doing that. There we are, that's the little pumpkin shape. And then we're going to go back to another one of these die cuts, and again I've burnished all those little score lines, and then I have cut 6 of these, and I'm going to glue one of each right round the outside. So this is Sugared Coral, I've got the name now, Sugared Coral glitter card, and I'm going to attach one of these the whole way around there, and then we'll come back and make the little lid from that. I'm just gluing all these little tabs together, and because I've used glitter card here, it does take a minute or two more just to grab because there's so much texture in below there, but you'll just work your way around gluing all the side tabs together first of all, and then you'll come back and do these little ones after these little side tabs have grabbed. That's the lid then on top of the little pumpkin, and I'm going to make the little stalk for the top of it. So I've cut this out twice in brown, and these two as well in brown, one of each. And I've already burnished all these little score lines. And now all I'm going to do is glue 2 of these together, and then join them all up to make one. And then when I've done that, these bottom score lines will all fold in, and the little small hexagon will go on there, and the bigger one then will go on the top. But you can watch how I do that. I took this hexagon die then, and I cut it out in the lighter colour and just put it onto the top of the lid there. And then I've got my little pumpkin, what's that called? I've forgotten already. Stalk? Yeah, that's it. And I'm going to put that on here. Do you know, that actually reminds me of a little chocolate. That would be really nice actually if you just wanted to make some 3D chocolates for a little project as well. So I'm just going to glue that right on there, and then I've got some thin strips of card here, and I'm just going to give those a little spiral. And slip that in below before that glue dries. So I'll add a little bit of extra glue onto that and then pop it in. Now I've taken 2 of these beautiful leaf dies. They're actually the only 2 leaf dies in there, so it's a great big one and then a smaller one, and I've cut those out several times, and I'm not too sure how many of them I'm going to use, but that's the way the big one starts off. So I'm going to fold that in the center like that, and then just take my little pokey tool and give those a little bit of shape around like that, and I am going to attach those on here. So I've got some smaller ones and some bigger ones, but they're just going to go around the top of the pumpkin like that. that's the finished pumpkin then, and it's actually quite big, isn't it? And there's plenty of room inside to put all sorts of things, little treats, sweets, chocolates, just whatever you like. There you are. So I think I'll make the cauldron up. I'm going to cut it out in black and we'll see how we go from there. Following the same pattern as I've used for this, I've gone ahead and made a cauldron. So I'm actually calling this a flower pot because I think that's, for me, that's nicer. But I know lots of you will want to make the cauldron. But anyhow, I have cut it out in black and made it up the same way as I made the pumpkin. And then I had some of this crushed metal speciality paper from Tonic. Now, I know it's probably not available at the moment, but some of you may already have that and have it in your stash and might like to use it like this. I think it looks absolutely beautiful on there. The other way of doing this is to add these little segments on. So for each panel, you'll cut 5 of these, and this would be the center one, and then there's different ones sort of angled in to go further down. So 5 for each one, and there's this beautiful little pattern here. I'm just going to show you what it looks like, and that's one of them cut out with that pattern there in high gloss black card. And then there's a different pattern on it as well, and you can use it to get that little pattern. I've gone ahead then with a little collar die, so that's this one. I've cut it out 3 times. I had thought it might look nice in grey, but now I've decided black would look better, so just bear with me. I'm going to join the 3 of those together and then join them in a sort of ring and put them down in here, and then these little flaps will just get moved out slightly outwards, and each one of them will get glued onto the inside area here. So we'll join them all together first of all, and then come back and put them on the inside. I've got glue on all of these little tabs now, and I've folded them just slightly outwards because obviously they're going to go at this angle when you put them in here. So we'll just pop this down inside here, and each one of these then just goes inside the whole way around here. Going back to the die cut that you made with this die, and that's the base of this, you'll need to have 2 of these with apertures in them. So I've already cut it out of these 2, and I'm just going to show you how I did that. You'll need to set this back on top of it and just make sure it's in the right place. It actually locks into position there, so there's not a problem, it won't move about. And then you're only using that as placement. So you'll put this little die into the center and then take some adhesive tape, some dye tape, and put it just on the inside there and there. Then you'll be able to remove this outer die, and the inner die will be where it should be, and you can cut that through 2 of those. So you actually put the 2 of them together and run it through, and you'll cut the 2 of them in exactly the same place. So it's actually quite simple to do, but one of them then will create a little shelf in here. So all I'm going to do is put glue. I've folded these little tabs downwards, as you can see there, and I'm going to put glue right around there, set this inside here, and then bring that so that it's level with the top, just level with the base of this and the top of this, so it's just right along there on the inside, and that creates a little shelf. So I'll put some glue the whole way around this then. Now we're going to use these 2 pieces and 2 die cuts from this. So I've actually cut those out and already glued them together, and I'm going to just attach these the whole way around the outside of this. So glue those little glue tabs on here and follow that the whole way around. Now you can take your other piece with the aperture and fold these down like that and put glue on them and pop this down inside, and that strengthens that as well, so it will look like this whenever it's finished. So I'm just going to, I actually think it's a wee bit better to put the glue in here and then slide it down in, because that way you don't get any messy glue where you don't need it. Now I have cut out a piece of card to go onto the top of it, a piece of the paper actually to match the sides of the planter there. So I've taken this die again and I've just cut that out, and then I cut just inside the fold lines there so that I got this area here, and that will just go directly on top. These two dies make handles, and you can see this one here is longer, so that's going to be the handle for the side of the cauldron. And yeah, you can see it there. So I've put those on just opposite each other there, and remember that there is a top and a bottom to that, so whichever way you put one on, you've got to follow it through with the other one. And then this is the handle for the top of the cauldron for the little lid. And just make sure that you've got these on first, and then you'll know which way this is to go. You know how I found that out? Yeah, of course you do. So I'm just putting glue on here and here, and then that will go on there. Now all's left to do is add the little feet. So I have cut out 3 of this little die shape here, and there they are, and I'm just going to fold these back, and then this little piece gets folded inwards like that, and that then becomes a little foot. Just going to lift the lid off temporarily, and then the feet can go on every other one the whole way around there. You've got 3 feet for this, so it'll go there and there and there. There you are. I think that's rather nice. Now, I wasn't too sure about the difference that the feet would make in that, but it actually makes it quite sort of elegant and graceful, and it lifts it up to a whole new level, actually, very literally, because it does give it just that bit of height that gives it a bit of elegance as well. So it's really, really pretty looking on that. If you want to make the witch's hat, you can follow along with me. I've decided that I might like to make this into a Christmas tree, and I'm going to see how it goes, but it's exactly the same way that you would make the witch's hat. It just appealed to me when I saw the stars on the die cut here that that would look lovely cut out in gold and made into a tree. So let's see how it goes anyway. I've cut out 6 of these, and then I have taped both of these dies together on gold. They've cut the background out in green, and now I'm just going to attach the 6 of these together the whole way around here first of all, just by this long glue tab at the side here, which I have burnished really, really well on all of them. So far so good, I'm really pleased with that. Anyway, I've cut out 2 circles, and I need to cut apertures out in the centres of them. I've already done that, but I just want to show you how to do it. So this is the large circle here, and then I've taken the next one, which has this sort of pattern part on it. This is really just for placement, so I've set it there, and then I've popped this one inside and centered that as well. Then I've taken the next smallest hexagon, and I've put that in there, and where has it just gone? It's just disappeared. There it is. So, oh well, actually I'll leave that on because you can see what I've done. I've put that into the center there as well, and then I've just taped again on the inside so that the tape is holding that center one on, and then I've removed these other 2 dies like that and like that, and then I've put the 2 through the die cutting machine, and I've now got an aperture in both of them like this because I put them both. I had to actually tape the 2 of those together as well as I worked at it. So now I want to put one of these, thread these pieces through here, and then turn these pieces back and fold them over like that the whole way around and glue them onto the inside of this. Then you can go ahead with your second die cut and glue it directly over the top of that, and that covers up all those glue tabs and neatens that all up. The You'll then take this little die and cut that out 3 times, and I've already burnished all the fold lines and score lines and glued 3 of them together in a row, and now I'm just going to put glue on this tab and join them all up. And this will be a bit like the top of the pumpkin, the little stalk part. Whenever you get this to this stage, then you just fold all those pieces over, and this little hexagon goes right over the top of it, and that's the part that you actually cut out from here as well, so that sort of serves 2 purposes. That piece then ends up looking like this, and that fits up inside here, and you could put little treats in, and that just finishes that off nicely. So that's where the little treats hide, and it just fits in there. And I actually think that turned out into a rather nice looking little Christmas tree as well. But if you're wanting to make the witch's hat, don't forget that there's other bits and pieces of things there that you could decorate that with. There's a little buckle, all these bits and pieces here that can go along with it, and cobwebs and all sorts of bits and pieces. Anyway, I'm going to add some probably some crystal drops or some bits and pieces onto this to make this just a little bit more festive looking, and I hope you like that too. I added lots and lots of red crystal drops around that, and I think it turned out really, really well. But then I punched a tiny little star. I don't suppose many of you have this little punch. It's absolutely ancient. It's one of the very first things I got when I started with Tonic. Anyway, I punched 2 of them in gold card, and I backed them together with a tiny, tiny sliver of acetate. I don't even know if you can see that, but there's a tiny, tiny sliver of acetate down in the middle of them. And then I've poked a tiny hole down in the top of the Christmas tree, and I'm going to put glue on here and here, and then just poke that down in through there. So I poked that little hole in the top of the tree with my pokey tool. Well, that's all 3 projects finished from that die set, and I hope you'll agree that they're very, very fun to make. I really, really enjoyed it, and you can let me know if you're not really into Halloween. I think you would enjoy this as well, because there's so many different ways that you can use that. That is an absolutely fabulous pumpkin just as a present, and it doesn't have to have any Halloween stuff on it. But of course, if you like that, go ahead and do that too. This could be made in different colours. It could be all sorts of things. You don't necessarily need to use the lid, and you can just have that separately. But I think that little lid's rather cute on it as well. And there's my little Christmas tree, or witch's hat if you prefer. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please let me know if you've enjoyed it, and don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love you to do that, and hit the notification bell as well. My affiliate links will be down below, and don't forget to carry on watching, because there's more birthday week stuff coming, and go back and check what's already been made. So thank you once again for watching. Happy crafting. Bye bye.